Medieval India, page number 14, page number 177, chapter number 14. Rise of Malik Ambar and frustration of Mughal attempt at consolidation. After the fall of Ahmednagar and capture of Bahadur Nizam Shah by the Mughals, the state of Ahmednagar would have disintegrated and different parts of it would have, in all possibility, been swallowed up by neighbouring states. But the rise of remarkable man Malik Ambar was an Abyssinian born in Ethiopia. We do not know much about his early life and career. It seems that his poor parents sold him at the slave market of Baghdad. In course of time, he was purchased by a merchant who treated him well and brought him to the Deccan, which was a land of promise. Malik Ambar rose to the service of Genghis Khan, one of the famous and influential nobles of Murtaza Nizam Shah. When the Mughals invaded Ahmednagar, Ambar at first went to Bijapur to try his luck there. But he soon came back and enrolled himself in the powerful Habshi Abyssinian party, which was opposed to Chand Bibi. After the fall of Ahmednagar, Malik Ambar found a Nizam Shahi prince, and with the tacit support of the ruler of Bijapur, he set him up as Murtaza Nizam Shah too, with himself as the Peshwa, a title which had been common in Ahmednagar much earlier. Malik Ambar gathered around him a large band of Maratha troopers or Burgis. The Marathas were adept in rapid movements and in plundering and cutting off the supplies of the enemy troops. Although this guerrilla mode of warfare was traditional with the Marathas in the Deccan, the Mughals were not used to it. With the help of the Marathas, Ambar made it difficult for the Mughals to consolidate their position in Berar, Ahmednagar and Balaghat. The Mughal commander in the Deccan at the time was Abdur Rahim Khan-e-Khanan, a shrewd and wily politician and an able soldier. He inflicted a crushing defeat on Ambar in 1601 in Telangana at a place called Nandir. However, he decided to make friends with Ambar since he considered it desirable that there should be some stability in the remaining Nizam Shahi kingdom. In his turn, Ambar also found it useful to cultivate the friendship of Khan-e-Khanan since it enabled him to deal with his internal rivals. However, after the death of Akbar, when the position of the Mughals in the Deccan became weak due to differences among the Mughal commanders, Ambar unleashed a fierce campaign to expel the Mughals from Berar, Balaghat and Ahmednagar. In his enterprise, he was helped by Ibrahim Adil Shah, the ruler of Bijapur, who considered it necessary that the Nizam Shahi state should continue as a buffer between Bijapur and the Mughals. He gave Ambar the powerful fort of Kandhar in Telangana for the residence of his family and for storing treasures, provisions, etc. He also sent him 10,000 horsemen for whose support a definite tract of territory was to be set apart. The treaty was cemented by a marriage alliance between the daughter of one of the leading Ethiopian nobles of Bijapur with Malik Ambar. The marriage was celebrated in 1609 with great rejoicing. The Adil Shah giving some dowry to the bride and spending about 80,000 rupees on fireworks alone. Fortified with the support of Bijapur and with the active aid of the Marathas, Ambar soon forced Khan-e-Khanan to retreat to Burhanpur. Thus, by 1610, all the gains in the Deccan made by Akbar were lost. Although Jahangir sent Prince Parvez to Deccan with a large army, he could not meet the challenge posed by Malik Ambar. Even Ahmednagar was lost and Parvez had to conclude a disgraceful peace with Ambar. The affairs of Malik Ambar continued to prosper, and the Mughals were not able to reassert themselves as long as he had the solid support of the Marathas and other elements in the Deccan. But in course of time, Malik Ambar became arrogant and alienated his allies. The Khan-e-Khanan, who had again been posted as the Mughal viceroy of the Deccan, took advantage of the situation and won over his side a number of Habshis and Maratha nobles such as Jagdev Rai, Babaji Kate, Udaji Ram, etc. Jahangir himself was well aware of the value of the Marathas, for he observed in his memoirs that the Marathas are a hardy lot and are the center of resistance in that country. With the help of Maratha Sardars, the Khan-e-Khanan inflicted a crushing defeat on the combined forces of Ahmednagar, Bijapur, Golconda in 1616. The Mughals occupied the new Nizam Shahi capital Khidki and burnt all the buildings before they left. This defeat shook the Deccani alliance against the Mughals. However, Amber did not relax his efforts. To complete the Khan-e-Khanan's victory, Jahangir sent a grand army under his son Prince Khurram, later Shah Jahan, and himself moved to Mandu to support the prince in 1618. Faced with this threat, Amber had no option but to submit. It is significant, however, that in the treaty, Jahangir did not try to enlarge the conquest made by Akbar in the Deccan. This was not due to any military weakness on the part of Jahangir, as has been sometimes imagined, but due to deliberate policy. Apparently, Jahangir did not want to extend Mughal commitments in the Deccan or become too deeply embroiled in its affairs. Moreover, he was still hopeful that his moderation would enable the Deccani states to settle down and live in peace with the Mughals. As a part of his policy, Jahangir tried to win over Bijapur to his side and sent a gracious farman to Adil Shah calling him son. Despite these reverses, Amber continued to lead the Deccani resistance against the Mughal and there was no place in the Deccan. However, 2 years later, the combined Deccani forces again suffered a severe defeat in the hands of the Mughals. Amber had to restore all the Mughal territories and another 14 kos of adjoining territory. The Deccani states had to pay an indemnity of rupees 5 crore. The credit of these victories was given to Prince Khurram. The second defeat, coming soon after the first, finally shattered the united front of the Deccani states against the Mughals. The old rivalries among the Deccani states now came to the surface. Amber continued a series of campaigns against Bijapur for the recovery of Sholapur, which was a bone of contention between the two states. By rapid movement, Amber reached the Bijapur capital, burned the new capital of Nauraspur built by Ibrahim Adil Shah, and forced him to flee for shelter to the fort. This might be regarded the climax of Amber's power. Although Amber showed remarkable military skill, energy and determination, his achievements were short-lived due to his inability or unwillingness to come to terms with the Mughals. The chief significance of the rise of Amber, however, is that it represented a clear recognition of the importance of Marathas in Deccani affairs. The success of the Marathas under the leadership of Malik Amber gave them confidence, which enabled them to play an independent role later on. Malik Amber tried to improve the administration of Nizam Shahi state by introducing Todarmal system of land revenue. He abolished the old system of giving land on contract, ijara, which was ruinous for the peasants, and adopted the Sabti or Sapti system. After 1622, when the Deccan was in turmoil due to rebellion of Prince Khurram against Jahangir, Malik Ambar was able to recover once again many of the old territories which had been ceded to the Mughals. Jahangir's attempt at consolidating the Mughal position in the Deccan was thus frustrated. However, the long-range benefits to Ahmednagar for reopening the dispute with the Mughals may be considered doubtful. It led to a situation in which Shah Jahan decided that he had no alternative but to extinguish Ahmednagar as an independent state. Malik Ambar breathed his last in 1626 at the ripe age of 80. But the bitter fruits of his legacy had to be reaped by his successors. Thank you everyone for tuning in. In the next part, we'll start with the extinction of Ahmednagar and acceptance of Mughal suzerainty by Bijapur and Golconda. Thank you for tuning in. All the best for exams. Do share and subscribe and keep supporting us. Thank you everyone.